Hi everyone. Today in this video we are going to see what is a virtual machine or virtualization. Whether you are a beginner or experienced developer, system administrator, cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, you need to know what is virtualization because you will be working with virtual machines for your project. Now imagine we have a physical computer. It can be a laptop or desktop with Windows operating system installed on it. Computers are built with physical parts like hardware, and hardware consists of CPU, RAM, storage and networks. On top of these hardware resources, we can install our operating system, and it can be Windows, Linux and Mac OS. We call it as a host operating system because it is installed on a physical computer, and it can be Windows, Linux or Mac OS or any other operating system. On top of that, we can create our application, we can set up our application and run with installed operating system with the help of installed operating system. Now let us imagine a scenario that we want to create a cross-platform application that will work or that will run on different operating systems like Windows, Linux and Mac OS. If you want to create such an application which we are going to run on all these different operating systems like Windows, Linux and Mac OS, how we can achieve this? Like buying a new computer and installing the hardware resources per operating system is not a feasible approach because it will cost us in terms of money as well as hardware resources. Then what is the feasible approach to achieve this? We have this physical computer, so on top of that we have hardware resources, and on top of that we have installed our operating system. Now on top of this operating system we can use virtualization, which will allows us to create multiple virtual machines, and it will not even take a separate physical computer or physical hardware to create these virtual machines. It will make use of hardware resources which are there on a physical computer and make use of host OS to create a virtual machine with the help of virtual CPU, virtual RAM and virtual storage. Virtualization is a technology that allows us to create and run multiple isolated virtualized environment. We call it as a virtual machines on a single physical computer. We can use the hypervisor, which is a software layer that enables virtualization and which will manage the virtual machines. And we can use the virtual box, which is an Oracle product, which is one of the implementation of the hypervisor. With the help of the virtual box, we can achieve our objective and create the virtual machine per operating system. Like we can create one virtual machine, which is an isolated environment for Windows operating system. We can create one virtual machine for Linux and one for Mac OS. Likewise, with the help of hypervisor, we can achieve virtualization, and with the help of a virtual box, we can create our cross-platform application and run that on different operating systems which are running in different virtual machines. So the hypervisor is the core of the virtualization, whereas the virtual box is one of the implementation of the hypervisor. Now let's say if one of the VM breaks due to some problem or it is hacked, then we can simply delete that VM and create a new one. Likewise, we can create multiple virtual machines out of host operating system, and we can create the guest operating systems like with any combination. Like for host operating system we can use Windows OS, and we can create a Linux guest operating system, and we can use Linux as a host operating system, and we can create Mac OS as a guest operating system, and we can create any combination of like Windows out of Windows or Linux out of Linux guest operating system we can create. Now let us see what are the different types of hypervisors are available. First one is a type 1 bare metal, and other one is a hosted hypervisor. Now, bare metal, in case of bare metal, there is no host operating system, due to which it has direct hardware access, and because of which it runs directly on the hardware, and it typically provides better performance and lower latency compared to the type 2 hypervisors. So the main difference is that, like, it is not using the host operating system in case of bare metal. And in case of type 2 hosted hypervisor, it relies on top of the existing operating system or host operating system. So in this configuration, the hypervisor, as it relies on the host operating system, which can introduce some overhead and cause lower performance compared to the type 1 hypervisor. And let us see the examples of the bare metal: VMware, vSphere or ESX. And there is another example like Microsoft Hyper-V. These are the examples of the bare metal. Similar way, we can take examples of hosted hypervisor, which is a VMware workstation, and VirtualBox. We have seen this is the Oracle product which we can use to to run our application on different platforms, like different operating systems like Windows, Linux and Mac OS. Now let us see what are the benefits of using virtual machines. First is isolation and security. We know that virtual machines are completely isolated from each other, meaning that even if one virtual machine is compromised or crashed, others are unaffected. Resource efficiency, like virtual machines allows for better resource management on a physical server by dividing the server's resources like CPU, RAM and disk among multiple virtual machines. This will maximize the hardware potential, and it will also allows us to it will dynamically allocate the resources, which is a plus. Portability, like since virtual machines encapsulates the entire operating system and application stack, we can move them or copy them between different physical machines or cloud environments without much hassle. And it will also enable us cross-platform compatibility, like we can run our application, as we have seen, we can run our application on multiple operating systems like Linux, Windows or Mac OS. Cost effective, like by running multiple virtual machines on a single physical server, businesses can reduce the need for multiple physical machines, saving cost on hardware, power and space. And there is a pay as you go model, in which in cloud environments virtual machines are built based on usage, which allows companies to pay only when the resources they need, offering the significant saving. Like we can pay only for the usage. So with this, in cloud environment, it is cost effective. Flexibility and scalability, like it is easier to manage. Virtual machines allows for more straightforward deployment of new system or applications. Once the virtual machine is set up, it can be cloned, migrated or destroyed with minimum effort. Disaster recovery, like backup, we can virtual machines are easier to backup compared to physical machines. With the help of snapshot capabilities, we can restore a VM to a previous state or recover it in case of failure, which will reduce the downtime and it will minimize the data loss as well. Testing and development, like developers can use virtual machine to test software in different operating systems or configurations without worrying about harming the host machine or other applications. So these are the notable benefits we can consider. Although there are many other benefits, but these are most notable ones. So this is about all about virtual machines. I hope you must have enjoyed this. Please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching.